our final speaker of the day, and I'm going to allow Serene Wang from Elite Wing Education to introduce herself and take it away. Thank you so much, Serene.
Okay, so I know this is the last session. You guys must be a little bit tired.
Not me.
But before I start, I would have a request. Like the people sit in the back, please come up, okay? Because the way I do a presentation or speech is normally how I host the party. So who's ready to party?
Ready. Go.
Okay. All right, so my name is Serene. I have a very interesting background. I started to do online teaching in 2011. And each of my live streaming class would have 200K students watch me live online. So that was a really interesting experience for me. My company built up on the social media with the idea that I want to share about how to apply different schools. So my company, Elite Link Education, is an innovative education consulting firm. So we do college admission consulting, and then career coaching, and then corporate training. So it's a circle. Our students will stay with us for a really, really long time. And the reason that I really want to share a lot of interesting things for you guys today is all case-based. So it's the experience I work with certain companies about their hybrid working condition. And I want to tackle some issues with you guys, and we can do a brainstorm. And just like I said, I really want to host this as a party, so there are activities people would have to join me. So that will how it goes. And so I don't want to introduce too much about myself. I want to stay a little bit mysterious about myself. Like you guys go to my website and connect with me on LinkedIn. You guys will know more about me. I am a speaker for a lot of conferences, so I will save all those stories for future. And just like I said, because my company started with social media, so each of our coaches, including me, have over 1 million followers online. So if you guys want to know more about like building up your social media, that's another topic we can talk the other day. Okay, so first, one challenge that I work with a lot of companies about hybrid working is people think about when you walk into an office, you know this is office space. Right away, you know you're in a professional setting. But when pandemic starts and people start to work from home, their camera turn on and you see something like this, right? Like some people are like not wearing a shirt, or someone, you can hear like things going on in the bathroom, you know, like they're just crazy. And for the people who are still going to the office, they feel bad. Like, oh, I'm the one wearing suits sitting here and you're the one lying down on bed. So that really compromised the team morale. And also a real case I want to share with you guys is I did a consulting project with an international beauty company because I signed NDA, so I'm not allowed to say their name, but everybody in the room definitely know them. So what happened is when they did a really big project with Chinese market, when they turn on their camera, they're dark, but they're a beauty company. So when they turn on their camera, people want to see their branding. It's not just team of people, but how they present themselves is actually very, very important. So I gave them, so the first impression from the client is not that great. The Chinese company talked to me, is like, I think they should change. We cannot feel like this is a great, luxurious beauty company. What I feel is like this is something I can grab on CVS, but we don't want that. We want something that is really like famous or a big brand. So what I did is, I'm sure the previous speaker already shared a lot of gadgets, but I simplified. So basically my team, all of us had the same setup. Very easy, not too much screen, not too much lighting, okay? Nothing crazy. It's an LED light, a screen, and your laptop, and a microphone, and that's it. Make sure a little bit lighting, and that's the result. And you don't need green screen. for a lot of time because people start to feel a little bit tired about the virtual background, and sometimes it goes crazy. But some people really like it. I also support that. So after this presentation, I also have a toolkit that I organized a lot of articles, tools, and including the Zoom background you guys can use. So I will send everyone that. Okay. So after everybody changed their team setting, it's very easy when they walk in that space in their house, they feel like, okay, this is work. So that separation and that branding also set up in everybody's video when they turn on is the same quality. So I think that's a really good way for quality control, even your team is at home. So I think that's very easy to do, and the LED light I highly recommend because you don't need all those lights. You just need that one that also can be a desk light, and it's very cheap, like $35 on Amazon. So you can just search LED light bar, a bar light. I would not recommend any specific brand because I didn't get any sponsorship. Okay, so next is the connection. So I know throughout the day, a lot of people talk about connection. How do we connect to our team, right? I'm actually gonna set up a scenario here. So it's a small team meeting right now. There are people online and there are people offline, okay? Someone are back from vacation and now it's a team catch-up time. So how do we make this more fun? Okay, so I would love to invite 10 people to scan this barcode and join me, okay? So if you feel comfortable about sharing some of your photo, you pick your photo, okay? So it's not compromising your privacy, okay? If you feel comfortable.
Everyone getting connected, okay? How many people do we have in? Anybody in yet?
Yeah, I see people are getting in, awesome. You can choose your avatar.
So if the QR code isn't working for you, you can type that.
Okay. Perfect. Okay, let's start the party. Okay, so we will give everyone 4 prompts. Upload a picture from your camera roll. Just remember this is for workspace, okay? So workspace. And for each prompt, 3 pictures will get shown at random to everyone, okay? So first, my main weekend activity. Post a photo about your main weekend activity. Your weekend activity, yeah. What do you like to do most on the weekend? So cute. That's adorable. But it is a little bit confusing that main activity is the little kid. but I get the gist. Taking care of, yeah. Taking care. Oh, watching football. Oh, I didn't get that. Okay. Oh, this is mine. This is the Water Lantern Festival, New Jersey Water Lantern Festival.
Oh, do they?
That's in New Jersey?
Yeah, it's Jersey City, yeah, where I live. Jersey people.
So,
Oh, this is so cute.
where is,
It wasn't mine, you just say the cat in.
oh, because
Vanessa, do you want to talk about what's going on here?
Oh,
place for the kids to play, and then a lot of really delicious wine for the adults to play too.
Sounds great. Okay. If anyone had a question about how to use this, my colleague here will help you. So the most fun I've had in a while. Well, this one can be dangerous, but. Smiling. Wow. Wow. Okay. Is this yoga?
It's aerial silk. Yeah, like a yoga class. I was awful at it. That's the only thing I can do. But it was actually a chance for me to meet some LinkedIn friends in real life.
I'm a very Steve's person. I don't think I can do this in my life. It's really, really cool. Okay, what about this one?
No, this was actually at a festival this past weekend. They had some construction vehicles there, so I took my daughter up there, and she just like loved playing with all the knobs and handles and wheels and everything.
So adorable. I think that's it. Okay. So my official mood this week. Well, you can be creative. Good one. Any explanation for this one?
So I worry about a lot of things. Turns out nothing's that serious.
I love that. I love that. That's so great.
Right, I will. I already did.
I get that too. It's like, I feel like, whoa, this is the end of the world. And then when this thing get over, it's like, well, it's nothing.
Yeah.
Okay, explanation.
I don't know, just that kind of week.
Okay. Exciting or surprising?
Little of both.
Okay. Two. Okay. Okay. Something I'm proud of. Something I'm proud of. Wow. So Jesse, what about this one? What about this one?
Proud of my son. His first prom. Oh, no, not prom. Sorry, homecoming.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that is such a proud moment. Okay, from Vanessa.
Tomorrow we're soft launching the next division of the business, and so it's very proud of that.
Congrats. Okay. Wow. What is this?
I did my second Spartan race, which is a obstacle course race. A couple weekends ago in Chili Stadium, and that's my team that I did it with. Very nice.
The fastest I ran is actually today. I ran to the train station because I had 1 minute left to catch up the train. That was it. That was in years that I ran. Okay. Okay. Awesome. So how do you guys like this?
Very cool.
It's good for hybrid, right? Like like people in the room can play it, and then people online can join, and you guys actually get to know the people in real life for their vacation or something. Of course, you can design the question that's more tailored to your team, your audience. And that's also something I really like about like all the ATD events, because this is the only place that I meet people that understand what is instructional design. Yeah, because even nowadays, my mom, she doesn't really understand it. Okay. All right, so let's continue. Okay, except for that, I also want to share some other group games that you guys can play with your team as a team building. So the one I really like is actually by, let me open this page real quick. It's actually done by Google. So it's a puzzle game that uses NASA real photo, and you can play with your team. So people can play virtually together and put puzzle together and using the photo you choose. So it's not only good for team, but I think even for your family, like you can do that. It's really fun. Also, you can do like different teams in a Zoom breakout room and to compete with each other. That's also doable. So I like this tool as well.
What's it called? Puzzle game?
If you go to arts and culture at google.com, you can see different things you can actually use for virtual setting. Yeah. It's actually a science project that for people to explore NASA, but somehow I have this really nerdy side of me. I was like, okay, this is actually really good for a team building like activity. All right, so this is another game called Votes Out. It's also free, and you can choose. Basically, it's a table game. You and your team can play together, and it has different games. You can even design your little game in it. So I would highly recommend. Not only for the team building, it's also good for family or friends gathering. That's also really cool. Especially sometimes when you have a really long meeting, like conference call, if you do, or in between the sessions you have a game, it's actually really good for people to wake up, and then you know who's actually still in the meeting, like if they're playing. Okay, this one I really like. This one is, okay, I will send you guys the link as well. So this one, it's actually a spy game. Everybody needs to know who is really the bad person, and you choose a scenario, either it's a school or university or a bank. It's a really good team building game because you need to guess who is lying, who is telling the truth. So this is a really good one for team building or like a hangout session for your team online. Okay, so the third challenge we had definitely about virtual or hybrid setting is the communication. This part I didn't do because I know all the previous speakers did a really, really good job talking about a lot of the content. But I want to think another way. So this is actually from the Office support from Microsoft. They have a checklist for people who work online or virtual working. So before the meeting, they will check what is this meeting needed, how much time needed. Basically, this checklist, I find it really productive. Of course, there's so many different checklists. I think this one is very standard that you can adjust to, and also a good example. And during the meeting, there are also other checklists as well. Also, once everything is a standard procedure, it will go really smooth. So I think that's a really great way to put everything organized. Okay, and then coordination. So I don't know if you guys had the situation where you think this is the right time to come to a Zoom meeting, but someone is not joining you last minute, or got canceled, or the calendar is not synced really well. So also sometimes people have emergency as well. So I would recommend everyone to check the University of Washington. They have this hybrid managing schedule change, and they have a toolkit online, which I find is very interesting. At least it's very inspiring for my team. If someone have to do like flexible work scheduling or non-scheduled work schedules, they have a lot of, like a really long list. I only took part of it. You can actually go to the website. It's called Manager Toolkit to Support Hybrid Work at University of Washington. I really like how they put everything together. Also, it turns out to be effective for them, and I tried a little bit. Definitely my team changed it, but it also works really well for the people because my team, we have a New York office, an LA office, and one office in China. So we have been hybrid for so many years. And when we adapt to this schedule management, we feel like it's a little bit easier because people would think it's more fair when everything has agreement, like how we do certain things in a certain way. I find one thing is very challenging is when we do hybrid, certain people think I can do things my way, and other people think I will follow other standards, where then people feel like it's not fair when working together. Okay, and then I think another challenge for hybrid work is culture. I don't know how you guys feel, but I feel like hybrid working sometimes doesn't have any culture. You turn on the Zoom meeting, and you guys have like a checklist, go through things, and bye. And that was it. You don't feel like you actually connect to your team, and sometimes you don't even remember or how to establish a new culture for the company, which is really hard. We had that issue, like my company had the issue for like a year or two because, so in my New York team, it's always chop, 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 really, really fast. But then I have one team member in London, always on the tea break. And we have LA people driving around. It's always like, oh, I'm stuck in traffic in LA. And my Chinese team will do things differently. So it's really hard for us to combine and reach an agreement and do things in certain culture in a positive way. So I find it's interesting. So we did a virtual office experience. I also brought the headset, so if anyone want to try to walk into yeah, we can do that. Yes. So this company is called Spatial. I will take you guys to their website. So basically, you and your team can choose your own avatar and choose your space and walk. Let's choose a random space. And walk into that space and meet your team member in that space, talk. So Vogue magazine is actually using this to start their magazine fashion space in the metaverse. So actually you don't need a VR goggle to do this. You can do it online using your webpage. But if you use VR goggle, it's a totally different feeling. So you guys, anyone interested, you can try here. So you can choose your avatar. This is my avatar, and then you can just explore, go different places, and their designated area you can meet your team member all together and just talk. It somehow, even though you're still in your room, but somehow you feel like you guys are together in another space. That's why I really like to use this tool. I feel like it's more for community building and establish a culture. In my company, we have our own virtual spaces designated for our team. So everyone going to that space, we feel like, oh, we're at Elite Link office right now. So we really enjoyed it. But sometimes people would argue, you know, all these fancy gadgets, do we really need it? So those one I like it because you can actually do it on your web page, right? But some of the tool you can only use through your through the goggle like this one. So this one, good and bad, there's so many. So this is a major VR company that's dedicated for workspace. I have to say they're a little bit, to me, they're a little bit too similar to Facebook's Horizon. It's a similar tool. Everyone can have their own avatar, go into a virtual office space to have a meeting in that space. So I can show you, even their promotion video looks really similar to the Facebook one. So after I show you guys the video, I want you guys to tell me how do you feel about this tool, okay? Okay, it's their demonstration video. Okay, I will stop here. So how do you guys feel about this? Do you want to try something like this or no?
Can my coworker read that message that just popped up?
No.
Okay.
That would be too much. That would be way too much. Okay, so I shared about this because good and bad, I tried with my team one time. All the gamers on my team who enjoy play computer game really like this. But non-gamers hate this because after you wear VR goggle for too long, over like 35 minutes, some people will feel nauseous and uncomfortable. Also, it's heavy. So I wouldn't recommend like anybody have a long meeting and talk about a contract and then wearing this. And it doesn't feel super professional because you just see a bunch of animated character jumping around. Also because it moves too fast in the VR headset. So it doesn't feel super comfortable. Also, it's 2D. The reason that I really like spatial and our virtual office is more 3D feeling, and so that makes me feel like a little bit more comfortable, and the space is really open. Of course, this is like their park. I just entered a random like space just to be.
What's this one called?
This one's called spatial.
Spatial.
Yeah, spatial. So anyone, if you're interested in Web3 or Metaverse, or you want to connect with a company like this. So for all the companies I talk about today, I actually had some connection with their company. So if you want to actually know more, you can email me. I can share you with their founder's contact as well.
So this is a paid promotion.
Hmm?
No, because before you said you didn't want to give us the tools for the LED because they didn't pay you, and then I said, never mind.
Oh yeah, this is not paid because I just introduced to them to talk to them, but not like buying anything. Also, this is free. Okay, online. Only the immerse, I think you need to buy it, but I'm not recommending it. So okay, don't tell them. Don't tell them. Please don't tell them. I personally don't really enjoy it. Okay, but that's only my personal opinion. Only represent me. Okay. So I want to ask you, I know it's a technology showcase, so I was thinking about bringing all my gadgets here. I have a lot in my office, and people look at me as like, how do you have all these random stuff in your office? So I passed around like smart speakers, VR goggles, and we actually designed a leadership training session for PwC Taiwan. And so the session I designed is similar like this. You can choose your avatar, you go into a different room in a different setting, like you have to have a really tough conversation with your employee, or it's a setting that is a diversity setting that a guy can be a woman for an hour in the session and see how that goes. So I think, even though some people think VR is just some fancy term, but it can be useful if it's in the right setting with the right tool. The one thing I don't like about Oculus Quest and Oculus Go, the previous version, is it's really heavy. I think 30 minutes is the maximum. I also designed another curriculum on the VR headset is for business English. Some of the international schools are using that curriculum, so students actually have to go into different settings, like in a bank or at a meeting. They have to practice their English, and each session is 45 minutes, but there are so many challenges. Like some instructor doesn't know how to set this up, their internet connection, and also the gadget itself is not that cheap. I think it's over $300 for this headset. So it's not, I don't think it's that approachable for everyone or every company, but it's something out there people can think about. And also this also creates a lot of opportunities for different companies. Just throw some new ideas for you to think. So before, an architect builds building, right? Real building. So a lot of my mentees, like career coaching mentees, we help them to build a career as a Web3 architect. So they design those virtual spaces for a company that needs virtual spaces. So they become a Web3 architect. So the reason I share this is because in Web3, everything is virtual. And even though people some people really think it's just a bubble, the whole Web3, I would suggest every person that in learning industry try to at least understand the concept a little bit, because that's something already happening. Rather than critique without understanding it, I would say try to learn a little bit more before the judgment. And there are also a lot of training and coaching business opportunities for you guys in Web3. Right now, there are a lot of people trying to find how to coach people to do marketing in Web3, and they don't have any learning instructor in that space as well. So if anyone interested in exploring a new space, I would suggest just to go ahead, download a Discord. And right now it's all free resources. So you just type, and if you guys are interested, also let me know. I can send you the free course as well. Okay, so this is our virtual office. I will briefly walk you guys through. So it's also interactive virtual space. Everybody can choose their avatar, and we have meeting space, and then we have lounge, and we try to make it more realistic with all the greens and different sceneries in the virtual space as well. Okay, so I talked about the virtual office, and right now I want you guys to think about how much time, does anyone know how much time you, on average, how much time you spend on screen time? A week? Too much? Computer and phone, and TV, combined. 100%. Non-stop?
Mine is like 5 hours every day.
5 hours?
Here.
Okay.
Oh, it's true.
Okay. So my phone told me last week my average hour every day screen time is 7 hours. I was so shocked. 7 hours of my life every day. That's crazy because I work a lot on computer and phone. I really realized if there is opportunity for a hybrid working to improve, the face-to-face time is actually more important than ever. Just like before, I think the previous technology showcase I did virtual, but I don't feel I cannot match you guys face with the person. I heard some voice, but I don't feel any connection with anybody. I know Juliet as a person, like we are friends, but all the other people, I heard their name, but I don't know who is who, and I didn't, it didn't make any like real impression to me. It's just a bunch of screen names on Zoom setting. So this time, even though it takes me a run in Manhattan, like Midtown, for like 20 minutes to catch up the train, it's totally worth it for me to get here to meet everyone, because that's a very different feeling. Maybe I don't get the chance to talk to each of you, right? Seeing you here, physically here, is very, very meaningful. Like, the connection is very different. How do you guys feel? How many of you are hybrid working right now? Okay. So how many of you are, like, go to office every day? Only 2. Okay. How many of you fully virtual, remote? Wow. Okay. Okay. So I need everyone to have a little discussion, just to talk about the pro and con about going to office every day, hybrid, and fully virtual. Okay. What do you think, the pros and cons? And you guys have 3 minutes.
Okay. I'll jump in with you.
I think we all know that. Discuss that.
You have to come in and
I teach here at Ryder, right? So this semester, every class that I'm teaching is in person. Right? So I have often, I guess every point now is somewhat hybrid, right? I would say still be right now.
I found, like, my first talk was funny,
It's out of class time.
this team is gonna be in on Monday, that team's gonna be in on Thursday.
So,
That's because the perception of vigilance catch up. Because I kind of feel like, because I kind of feel like we're in students, right? Yeah. If I talk about like these times, I know I can get back to the Zoom.
I'm okay with that.
We scheduled this Friday, this Monday, no one's going to talk to us, admin work or something.
So Zoom is the same as Teams and everything?
Yes, it is definitely by Skype, it's a Zoom, it's remote for 5 years.
It's gonna be really interesting.
It's a lot. I also like feel like I have to schedule time for myself to get out of my office. So like dogs are good for that.
Let me do with you. Well, you don't tell me.
As a student, yes. So I feel like I'm a more visual learner. So like, if I'm in person, I see a lot of smiles, I see a lot of emotion, and I'm more happy to talk. That's how
Right, so yeah, so you were probably highly in
So that's the because I get the full experience. On the screen, somebody could be asleep, another person can turn the camera off, and I had that experience before, and it's not class environment,
which will never Right. It was a little more quiet, your manager. Justify the clock.
Okay, time to stop. Okay. Before I start to ask people, like, how do you feel, each table, we will have, each table will have one short quiz, okay? Okay, so what about this table? Who's gonna share? What do you guys feel?
I think the consensus is that there's such thing as Zoom fatigue, like people are tired of always being on webcam, but there is value being able to get away from work by virtue of hybrid or remote work, just being able to like detach yourself, avoid commutes, and spend more time at home.
Yeah, I don't know if you you guys feel that way, but when you turn on camera, you always try to smile. I had that issue because my student loved to take screenshot of me. So I tried to smile and be nice all the time, and after 2 hours, my face is just like, can't move. Okay, what about that table? Who's gonna share?
I think it was the art, like what we talked a little bit about. They're telling us that we have to come in, but sometimes they're putting in arbitrary rules as to when we have to come in. I don't, and I think everybody here agreed, don't mind coming into the office. There's absolutely value to it. But give us the free agency to pick and choose when we're coming in. Make it purposeful, not because a VP decided, I'm having a meeting, we're having our team meeting this day, everybody has to be in for that meeting. That's great, but if it's once a month, don't suddenly say you have to be in on that day every day of the week. So it's an arbitrariness sometimes there.
Awesome. Okay, what about this table?
So we're a little different in that our team has been hybrid since before COVID, and it's been spread out throughout the country, but we, pre-COVID, the three of us reported to the same building. Even though we're instructional designers in the same department, we don't physically work together. So
It's on different projects, yeah.
we're all on different projects, even though we're technically the same team. We never used to actually have meetings together. So for us, COVID actually made our team stronger. We never socialized together. We never had any actual interactions until COVID. Now we actually are a team. We have hired people around the country that have joined our instructional design team. And on paper, we're hybrid, but we don't have to report in unless there's a reason to, which for us is usually our training facility in Florida. So it's a weird shape for us where there can be value in an office, but it's exactly what you're saying. When they announced that we were moving to a hybrid model, we really wanted to make sure that it was not us having to drive, in some cases, an hour each way to sit on Teams meetings all day, because the people that I physically work with don't live in the state. So it's like, there is a benefit, but I mean, for us, where we've replaced being physically together, like, we really do feel close and have a really great team culture because our department has always been hybrid, so we have a place beforehand, and it built stronger.
Right. And virtual happy hour, no one had to drive home.
Yeah, they plus.
I love that story.
They've continued. Like, we used to have them every week, now they're more once a month, but yeah, like, we still have the events that we started doing.
People bring drinks less too. I think people were stressed in 2020. They had to come with beer here. I just want to camera.
95% probably, like when working with them, and 5% probably just to either go to the training facility or the entire like department goes to like New York.
Yeah, people fly in from the country.
Yeah, so it's not like
There's a reason.
arbitrary.
But to the same theme, before COVID, we had discussions like, why am I coming here to be on a conference call?
I drove an hour each way to sit on Teams meetings all day, and now it's wonderful that I can.
And at times people started saying, use your discretion. If you're going to be on the computer all day at Teams meetings, stay home.
So now
But that was sort of like our boss telling us, that wasn't the company giving us discretion, like you were saying, it wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a case by case basis.
We tried very hard to make sure we negotiated it with strategically, like for our department, how we report to that. It's not what you were looking at. That's what we were all kind of nervous about, because I completely agree. My boyfriend's in the same role where he has to show up at his office 2 days a week, and he's the only person in his instructional design team in that office. So he sits on calls with everyone in the other building. So it's one of those things where it has to make sense when you're going in. Otherwise, why show up to a building? You're not getting that face-to-face.
Thank you. Okay, so these two groups, can we have one, because we're running out of time?
I think we said that, basically just gonna re-echo that, it's really great to have the option to work remotely, to do, the things that you need to do, but that when you get together, you want it to be purposeful and meaningful, and that's really the best of both worlds. But that, also we were sharing how, we sometimes miss having an office, because the work-life balance lends a little bit more when you're at home. It's easy to pick up your laptop if you're just like sitting and watching TV and like getting some extra work done. So the screen time is a little bit more.
I love that sharing. So every time I see my participants like talking, like really like having a good discussion, makes me feel like, wow, I am presenting with so many smart people. That makes me feel really good. How do you guys like the session so far?
Good.
Awesome. Okay. So I would love to invite you guys to connect, because I also prepare like articles, toolkit, like I said. So I would love to share with everyone. So if you guys can, you can shoot me an email or find me on LinkedIn. I would love to connect with you guys a little bit more and talk more about hybrid working or happy hour. You know. Thank you so much.